Yeah, yeah. Christmas traffic. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, and it is the season, and that's okay. It means people are out buying and selling and shopping and wheeling and shopping till they're dropping and all that. So, we're here at Brumit Sports. Again, we're live again on Facebook at TomTaylorSports.com, and also, of course, across the airways of AM 790 WETB. Back to the studio we go, as we do every day, and get a weather update. See what's going on with my man Ben Foy, our producer extraordinaire. And am I right in saying or hearing that we're talking 60s by Christmas Day? Is that right? Wow, we'll take that all day long. So. Here you go. I don't think we're going to be white Christmas this year. I think we're pretty safe. Don't see that bad boy happening for Christmas. I don't think we need to get our sleds and shovels out. That's okay. And we're talking 60s, upper 50s, low 60s, Christmas Eve day, and of course Christmas Day as well. So it's all good. So give us the official forecast, my friend, would you please? $64 degrees. Ho, ho, ho. I'm all about that. What day is that going to happen? I love it. Ho, ho, ho. 64 degrees. So, anyway, that's a good job. Right now, currently, our temperature is 34 degrees. We always start our show by dedicating to the man who hung on the cross, and we do that again today. We make no apologies for that. As we're live at Brumit Sports here in Elizabethton, got the two most beautiful girls in the world here with me today. And so this is our verse coming out of the book of Psalms 121 says, "Look up, your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. I will not let your foot slip. I watch over you day and night. I will keep you from harm both now and forevermore." There you go. Good stuff right there. And so we're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton, a place been here for over 70 years and going strong. Of course, Lori's over here, and she is, yes, making hay while the sun shines. She and Kelly's in here. Glenn's in here. We're all here again, broadcasting live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. And again, it's one of those throwbacks to the old days, which is a really cool thing. It's as we say, it's old school. And I like the fact it's old school. Hello, Keith Wilson. Thank you, my friend, for watching from Kingsport Times News. Also, Julie Brandon up in West Virginia watching. Jerry Keller, Shane Lewis. Thank you, folks, for giving us a watch on Facebook Live. And so we have lots to talk about today. We're going to run it down for you here. We've got goodness. Plus, we're going to get you qualified to win some cold cash for Christmas. You're running out of time to do that. We're going to be joined a little bit later in the show by Jeff Birchfield of the Johnson City Press. Love talking to the guys from the press. We rotate between Birchfield and Doug Fritz and Dave Angie. And so we'll have Birchfield in today talking about NASCAR. Bristol Motor Speedway, we're 68 days to the Daytona 500 to start up the 2017 Monster Energy Sprint Cup Series. And I'm glad they kept Cup in the name. So, Monster Energy Sprint Cup Series, 68 days out for the Daytona 500. So, again, Kelly, last name is
Lyons.
Kelly Lyons is in the house and working hard to help Lori, who, again, with Brumit Sports. We're going to show you a picture. We're going to do some live Facebook here in just a second to show you this wall of trophies. Everything okay over there, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Wall of trophies. I mean, this is unbelievable. Trophies and plaques. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bins. Well, I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. It's really unbelievable. If you're looking for a trophy or a plaque of any kind, shape, or form of anything, from football, basketball, soccer, horse race, you name it, horse racing, golf, whatever's out there that you can possibly think of. There's some military plaques and trophies here as well. If you can possibly think of it, it's out here and in here again at, as we said, at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth, and they're serving folks all over the region for over 70 years, and so they do a wonderful, wonderful job, to say the least. We will take a break, come back, take a look at some different things going on in the world of sports. Again, college football, Major League Baseball, not so much there. We got lots in college football and a lot in college basketball and a lot in the National Football League. Huge basketball game tonight in college hoops. It is one of those more dreaded rivalries in all of college basketball, and that would be the Kentucky Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals tonight. They'll play it this year in Louisville. Rick Pitino against John Calipari. Again, two top 15 ranked teams in the country want to get after it tonight. The bragging rights of Kentucky on it, of course. So, hello, Bobby Maupin in Nashville. Appreciate you, my friend. So we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes. Again, there's college basketball, college football, another bowl game last night. Young man who Tennessee gave up on, and so he opted to transfer to another school, and he did. And boy, he's making big news. And so that would be Riley Ferguson. Remember Riley Ferguson, Tennessee quarterback a couple of years back, and opted to transfer. Didn't like the playing time or lack thereof, so he moved on. He transferred to Memphis. Wow. He put on a show yesterday. Riley Ferguson, ex-Tennessee quarterback, transfers to the University of Memphis, only a junior. His grandfather, of course, is Bob Ferguson, who is the pastor at Gunnings Baptist Church here in the Tri-Cities. And so Riley Ferguson left the Tennessee program, transferred to Memphis, and the rest, they say, is history. Hello to Jeremiah Clark. Good morning to you, sir, my friend. By the way, I got from Brumit Sports, I said, Kelly, bring me a ball cap, any kind of ball cap. She brought me looks like the Big E for the Elizabethton Cyclones. So they service Elizabethton, but they service Happy Valley and Unicoi County and Science Hill and Daniel Boone and, Cloudland and Unaka and some schools over in North Carolina. So, again, these folks are not limited by the fact that they're in Elizabethton. They go all over the place with team sports, trophies. Again, the trophies, I keep looking over here. It's really unbelievable, the trophies, and we'll show those to you here, as I said, coming up here in a few minutes. But anyway, we're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, crossing 20 counties on AM 790, also at 790 WETV. 790.com is the streaming audio site. Also, TomTaylorSports.com. You can go there and click a Facebook Live button and listen to us live on Facebook, or you can, again, go there as well and flip on WETV. There's a listen live there. Whatever you want to do, you can do it either way at TomTaylorSports.com, but also YouTube as well. And so that's your one-stop shop for the show here again at TomTaylorSports.com. And, of course, that's where we want you to go to. You ought to see the cap I got on. Well, Bobby, that's good. I don't know what kind of cap you got on out there in Nashville, but well, we appreciate you. And anyway, that's where we are, TomTaylorSports.com. And so we'll take a quick break, come right back. We'll jump into it and get after it. Lots of sports going on. We'll kick it off with some National Football League news coming up next year from Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. You're watching and listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Who? Okay. If that's the only thing I do wrong, that's good. Okay, guys, let me see what we got over here. Lord have mercy. So I've got... So we've got a wad of earbuds and a power cords wadded up together so they can't watch the movies. Yeah, so I'm doing that. Plus I'm trying to do a show. Hello, Facebook folks. How are you? This is called, I want to join the circus called juggling. So. How in the world did you guys do this?
I didn't do that.
Take care of that. We'll just snap it. If you want to, come back with the touchstones and.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, he didn't ask. It just occurred to me because I knew
All right.
Your list of places providing that, like first place, second place, whatever. Yeah. Now, on.
You want to hit the touchstones?
You had, that you wanted, we talked about last week. Did we decide on what size? I know you wanted the MVP a little bigger, but. I know.
There's the touchstones. And you're up.
We're back again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. Give us a call right now, wherever you may be, 929-7900. Giving away cold cash for Christmas. It's your chance to do it. We're going to give it away on Friday. We'll be live at Food City in North Johnson City. This week, we've been to Kingsport, been to Bluntville, been to Volunteer Parkway in Bristol. This week, we are broadcasting live again at Food City on Friday. We'll be, again, on the road at Food City, North State of Franklin in Johnson City. So we'll give it away then. Give us a call right now. Again, we'll pull the winning name Friday for some cold cash just in time for Christmas. 929-7900 is the number to call. Ben's waiting on you to, again, take your name and get you qualified. It's just that easy. All you got to do is be fast fingers and call us. Be caller number 2, 929-7900. 929-7900 is the number to call. We are, good grief. We are in the process, if you're watching on Facebook, we have, how about that right there? We are, you can't see it on the radio, but we have a gob of a earbud and a power supply to a DVD player wadded up together. And so I've been trying to, during the break, try to kind of fix this. I think I've got it pretty well where they can use it, I hope, so we can get on with matters at hand here. So, let's see, this earbud's about to get ripped right now, so there we go, ladies. See if that'll work for you. There you go. Yeah. And you know what? I don't know. I got a third one called I don't know. I said, how did it get like that? I don't know. So, okay, there you have it. So, anyway, they fixed it. We fixed it. We're ready to roll, and let's get in here and get after it here. We got lots and lots and lots to talk about. And we'll start again with the National Football League here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. By the way, who did you get? Did you get a call? Good. Hello, Sandra Townsend from Johnson City. I don't know why I asked you for the phones if you got a call. Of course you got a call because folks want to win that free money. And so, Sandra Townsend from Johnson City, thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, here we go. National Football League. The Pro Bowl team was announced yesterday. Did you see how many of the boys were on the team? The Raiders. 7 Pro Bowl selections, 5 on offense, 2 on defense. The Atlanta Falcons led the NFC with the number of picks, which I find a little interesting, given the fact the kind of year the Cowboys are having. But anyway, Falcons led the NFC with 6 selections, just ahead of the Cowboys, who had 5, led by their star rookies Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady voted in as AFC starter despite missing the first 4 games of the season because of a suspension. Same is true of the Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell, who missed 3 games as well. The game we played in Orlando. It's no longer in Honolulu, the Pro Bowl. It'll be January 29th in Orlando. Offense, you look at Tom Brady, Derek Carr, the Raiders, Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers are the Pro Bowl quarterbacks. Running back Bell from the Steelers, DeMarco Murray from the Titans, LaShawn McCoy from the Bills. Also wide receivers, Antonio Brown, the Steelers, Amari Cooper from the Raiders. Also A.J. Green from the Bengals, T.Y. Hilton of the Colts. Let's see, you've got tight end, you've got Travis Kelce from the Chiefs, Delaney Walker from the Titans, tackle Joe Thomas from the Browns, Donald Penn from the Raiders. It goes on and on. Let's see. Also, the Titans had some good representation, too, on offense. On defense, Kali Mack, this still didn't say it right, Kalali Mack from the Raiders. Also, Jadeveon Clowney, former South Carolina star for the Texans. Oh, gosh, Jurrell Casey, the Titans. These were some of the guys named to the NFL Pro Bowl team in the AFC. NFC, please tell me. See, look here. Are you kidding me? Jason Witten's not on there? God, what a joke. Greg Olsen of the Panthers and Jordan Reed from the Redskins are the tight ends named to the NFC Pro Bowl team. from the NFC and no Jason Witten. What a joke. Good grief. What a joke. The guy just set the record the other day for only 2 NFL tight ends have had 1,000 catches and 10,000 yards. He's one of them. He did that the other night. This guy's not even on the Pro Bowl team. What a joke. What a joke. Anyway, I'm going to sit there. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm done. How can you do what he's accomplished this season? Again, he's having another banner year, and the guy has, Lori, bless her heart, I've done ripped out and pitch it. Bless her heart, Lori's over here doing maintenance for the little ones, for the little people.
We got it.
God bless her. She's awesome. So, anyway, you got Witten, again, only 2 tight ends in the history of the National Football League, Tony Gonzalez being the other, has had the season where he's had 1,000 catches and 10,000 yards in the same season, and so as a result of that, this guy's not named to the Pro Bowl team. So, I guess out of fairness, let's run down some of the NFC marquee names and then move on because, good grief. All right, I guess you can tell I'm kind of partial to that guy named Witten, and we should be. He's one of us. He's from around here, obviously. Quarterbacks are Matt Ryan of the Falcons, Dak Prescott of the Cowboys, Aaron Rodgers of the Packers. Running back Ezekiel Elliott of the Cowboys, Devonta Freeman of the Falcons, David Johnson of the Cardinals, Mike Tolbert from the Panthers as the fullback. Wide receivers Julio Jones of the Falcons, Odell Beckham Jr. for the Giants, Mike Evans from Tampa Bay, Larry Fitzgerald is one of the wideouts from the Cardinals. All these guys have been named to the NFC Pro Bowl team. Tight end Greg Olsen of the Panthers, Jordan Reed of the Redskins. Now, let me say this. I'm not downing Jordan Reed or Greg Olsen. These guys are worthy of being on there, but so is Jason Witten. This guy needs to be, as a tight end, on this football team, not the All-Pro, but the Pro Bowl NFL team. Let's see. Michael Bennett of the Seahawks is in. Everson Griffin of the Vikings, defensive ends. Outside linebackers, Beasley of the Falcons, Kerrigan of the Redskins, Thomas Davis of the Panthers. That's kind of I'm just going up and down through here. But again, the NFC and the AFC, Raiders led the NFL with 7 Pro Bowl selections, 5 on offense, and 2 on defense. I'm sorry? Oh, no, there's a lot of Cowboys. Cowboys are led by 5, including Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Hello, Hunter Locke. I want to say good morning to you, my friend, watching on Facebook Live. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady voted in as the starter despite missing the first 4 games of the season. And so, again, you can go to the NFL.com website and see the entire breakdown of the AFC Pro Bowl team. But the Raiders led the NFL with 7 Pro Bowl selections, 5 on offense, 2 on defense. So, what do you think? I'm thinking that's pretty strong. It's a pretty good indication of how good this football team is and is becoming in Oakland for the Raiders. Took only a couple of days. Now we have a ruling in the Walkie Leak scandal. Did you see this? Where the New York Giants coach Ben McAdoo was using an illegal walkie-talkie to communicate during their 10-7 win over the Cowboys in week number 14. They being what we're referring to are the New York Giants. The Giants have been fined $150,000. Coach Ben McAdoo, who was the one that illegally used the walkie-talkie to communicate with quarterback Eli Manning, he's been fined $50,000 out of his own pocket. And so now, if you're the Patriots, you kind of go, no, wait a minute. This is all there is to it, $150,000 and from the team and $50,000 from the head coach, and that's it. I would think the Patriots have a little bit of a discussion given what they had to go through with Deflategate. It is apples and oranges, obviously, 2 totally different things, but they got caught. McAdoo conceded that he did it, and so they fined him $50,000, got the Giants for $150,000. But I would think the swift resolution to an issue that bubbled up last week, the issue apparently did not need to be investigated too deeply. McAdoo was clearly seen on television broadcasting using a walkie-talkie straight to Eli Manning. Only the backup quarterback is allowed to use that communication system, as it does not shut down in the final 15 seconds before the snap like the headsets the coaches wear do. Did you know that? I just learned something new. If I'm on the headsets as an NFL coach, 15 seconds before the snap of the ball, my headset goes off, but the backup quarterback does not. So I guess as they go to the line of scrimmage to set the formation, McAdoo's saying, switch this play, let's run this play, whatever he was doing, however he was communicating. And so $150,000 lighter in the billfold for the New York Giants, and as the coach, Ben McAdoo fined $50,000 from the New York Giants. Do the Patriots have a beef, Ben Voight, complain because they got hit a little bit more severe, or is it apples and oranges? That would be my take, but again, I'm in East Tennessee at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton, so there you go. But anyway, that's the ruling by the NFL. McAdoo said, I'll pay the $50. The Giants said they'll pay the $150, and let's make it go away. And apparently that's exactly what's going to happen. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we're live at a Brumit Sports Shop in Elizabethton. Again, it's a sports shop's been here for well over 70 years, and so going strong. And Lori's flying around here again. Lori Wilson getting things done to get folks taken care of, the last-minute Christmas shopping needs. You got today, tomorrow, and Friday, obviously. A lot of places will be open for a little while on Christmas Eve, not the full day. Some won't be open at all, so we'll get her hours coming up here in just a second. Here's another story out of the National Football League. We told you earlier in the week that the Jacksonville Jags fired their coach, Gus Bradley. Had some players up in arms. Not the fact he got fired, but the fact that now check this out. They let this guy fly back on the plane. It was the team's decision to end Bradley's run with the Jaguars before the team's flight back to Jacksonville bothered some players. One of the players, Derek Marks, says he's the defensive tackle. If I had an opinion on it, I thought that was the right move. I don't think that was the right way to do it. He had to ride the plane home back that way, again, after being told he's no longer the coach. Gus was very cordial about it, spoke with everybody, came through the plane shaking hands and just talking with people. Gus has always been a great person in that aspect, but I don't think we as players were in the mood. We're ready to actually see that at that moment. The Jags fired Bradley shortly after the team's loss to the Texans in Houston, put him back on the plane, let him fly back with the team after they fired him. That's kind of humiliating, isn't it? Wouldn't you think, Ben? No. I mean, we canned the guy. Why didn't you wait to get him back to Florida, got him back in Jacksonville, and then said, look, come over here, we need to talk, and then let him go then? Why would you fire him after the game in Houston and force him to fly back on the team plane to be with the guys that they just got canned because of their coach? I think that's Bush League. Absolutely. I mean, what isn't what? What's a 3-hour plane flight? I mean, for crying out loud. You fired the guy. He's already got the dubious distinction of having one of the worst winning percentages, if not the worst, in the history of the National Football League, and he knew that. He's 14-48 in 3 seasons, and so even though the Jags won no more than 5 games in any of his seasons as head coach players, a lot of the players still loved this guy and didn't want to see him getting fired. And then they put him on the plane. They fired him in Houston, put him on the plane, and made him ride back with the team after they canned him. That's Bush League on behalf of the Jacksonville Jaguar owner and management. Say, well, what would you do? I would fly him back to Jacksonville, set him down after the game, after you landed, and say, look, we're fixing to part company. This show's coming to a screeching halt, and so we're going to have to let you go. I would not fire the man in Houston and make him fly back on the plane with his team that he just got fired from coaching. That's Bush League. NFL, the New York Giants can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow night for the first time since 2011 with a win over the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field tomorrow night. Giants 10-4 hold the top wild card spot, 2 games ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 8-6, and Green Bay 8-6. They will finish the season New Year's Day against the Washington Redskins. The Eagles, meanwhile, at 5-9, will play the role of the spoiler against their Eastern Division rivals, having been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday with the loss of Baltimore. The Giants knocking off the Eagles 28-23 at week number 9. The game was one of 6 losses for the Eagles, and the game's decided by 7 points or less. So they're out of the loop. All they can do is play the bad guy, the spoiler, which is what they will certainly try and do tomorrow night. Again, the Giants holding the top wild card spot, 2 games ahead of Tampa Bay and the Green Bay Packers. So they'll play that one tomorrow night, again at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. That's going to be a big ball game tomorrow night in a lot of ways for a lot of teams in the NFC. Here's what we've got right now. Top 6 teams are in. You would say, as we started today, you would see Dallas, They're in anyway. Dallas and Seattle are in. They've punched their ticket. More than likely are in are Atlanta, Detroit, the Giants, and Green Bay. Still alive, as we said, Tampa Bay, the Redskins, Minnesota, the Saints, and the Panthers. And eliminated in the NFC, Arizona, Philadelphia, the Rams, the Bears, and San Francisco. In the AFC, the teams that are in, New England and the Raiders. They're in the playoffs. Also, the Steelers, Houston, Kansas City, and Miami. Still alive, Baltimore, the Titans, Denver, Indianapolis, and Buffalo are still alive mathematically for the playoffs in the AFC. Eliminated, the Bengals, the Chargers, the Jets, Jacksonville, and Cleveland. Games tomorrow night, Giants and Philadelphia on Saturday, Christmas Eve, 1 o'clock kickoff. You got Miami and Buffalo, the Jets in New England. Tennessee, the Titans will be in Jacksonville, the interim coach. Again, the Jags, without Gus Bradley, taking on the Titans on Saturday afternoon in Jacksonville at 1 o'clock. Minnesota at Green Bay, huge game in that division, the black and blue, the old black and blue division. Minnesota at Green Bay at Lambeau Field. San Diego at Cleveland. Ho-hum. Washington at Chicago. Bears trying to play the spoiler on Saturday. Atlanta at Carolina. Panthers still mathematically alive and would try and do some damage against the Falcons with a win there. Also Saturday afternoon, San Francisco against the Rams in L.A. You talking about a sleeper. The 49ers. What is their record? The 49ers. Oh, me, oh, my. 49ers at 1-13. The Rams are at 4-10. So a combined 5-23. Be the record on Saturday at 4:25 the Coliseum in L.A. between the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. Arizona and Seattle, Tampa Bay and New Orleans, and Cincinnati and Houston. All those are on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, big one, Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Again, Pittsburgh at 9-5, the Ravens at 8-6, big game in the AFC North. Also on Christmas night, you've got Denver at Kansas City. You've got the Chiefs at 10-4, Denver at 8-6. And so that's your games on Sunday. Then on Monday night, December the 26th, coming up on Monday Night Football, Detroit at Dallas. That, too, is a big football game. You got Detroit at 9-5 and Dallas at 12-2. Two divisional leaders getting ready to do battle in Big D at 8:30 at AT&T Stadium on Monday night. That's a look at the National Football League. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. We will, again, make an attempt to show you on Facebook Live. You have to go to Facebook Live at TomTaylorSports.com and check out. We're going to show you just the trophies over here. In fact, we may just do a little walk around. I think we can pull it off. May or may not, but certainly we'll be able to stationarily show you the trophies and plaques you can order here. Maybe not for Christmas, but for future reference for a ball game or a ball team. You can have that done, and there is a slew of trophies and plaques here. We'll show that to you right after the break. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on Facebook Live and also on AM 790 WETB. Yeah. Yep. Can't keep coming winging it. Cannot. Will not. Let me do this real quick. Hey, Facebook folks, visit my new website, TomTaylorSports.com. On the website, you can sign up for an email newsletter to stay up to date on what I'm doing, where I'm going to be, and what all's going on. Also, be sure to like and share. Like and share my live stream videos and posts on Facebook and Twitter. We're growing by leaps and bounds thanks to Appalachian Digital, and so we want you to stay in the know. So check us out on the new website at TomTaylorSports.com and sign up for my new email newsletter. Be sure to like us and share us, and we would appreciate that very much at TomTaylorSports.com. We'll come back with some college basketball coming up here in just a few minutes, and we'll see what's going on in the land of college hoops. It's going to be a big night tonight in basketball. We'll take a look at some NASCAR news as well. All that's coming up here in just a second here on the show. So be right back and talk to you here in just a second on Facebook Live, and looking forward to it. So be right back here in just a second. All right, Brother Ben, everything okay? Okay. You girls doing good?
Yeah, my belly growled.
Your belly growled. Well, we'll just have to worry about that after 1 o'clock. So we'll get us some lunch after 1. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you can add it. It's beautiful.
Come back out here with Sweet Georgia Brown if you don't care, please. Okay. Let me know when you're ready to talk.
I wasn't planning on talking today.
Oh, yeah. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, time now for our basketball segment. So we can, without further ado, give us a little sweet Georgia Brown. We're going to get on that here in just a second. There it is. Music to Mayors. Let's run down some college basketball from last night. 17th ranked Xavier, no problem with Eastern Washington, won big. 11th ranked West Virginia blows out Radford 84-57. By the way, Xavier won 85-56 over Eastern Washington. Mountaineers of West Virginia go to 10-1. 11th ranked Mounties all over Radford 84-57. 9th ranked Creighton stays undefeated at 12-0. They win by 11 over Arizona State. 18th ranked Arizona, 31-point blowout over New Mexico. And 19th ranked St. Mary's, the Gales go to 9-1. 21-point win over Texas A&M Community College. And 20th ranked Oregon defeats Fresno State by 12, 75-53 last night in men's college basketball involving top 25 teams. In Blacksburg, the Hokies continue their winning ways. Ahmad Hill scored 20 to lift Tech to an 87-59 victory over Charleston Southern last night. Hill, who scored at least 20 in 3 straight games, helped the Hokies to go 10-1, which have won 6 straight and its 12th straight home game since last season. And so Charleston Southern falls to 4-7. And so the Hokies win big last night in front of the home folks in Blacksburg at Castle Coliseum. Final score there again, Virginia Tech 87, Charleston Southern 59. Hokies 10-1, winning 6 in a row and 12 straight at home since last season. Tonight, big night in college basketball involving top 25 teams. Top-ranked Villanova will be at home against American University. Should be no problem there for those guys. Number 2, UCLA hosting Western Michigan in men's college basketball. Also, 4th-ranked Baylor will be home to Texas Southern tonight. Baylor undefeated at 11-0. Also, 5th-ranked Duke, the Dukies, with a scare the other night against Tennessee State. Travel tonight to take on the Greensboro Coliseum. Elon at 7-4. The Dukies at 11-1. They'll play that one tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll be in Greensboro Coliseum. Also tonight in college basketball, you've got the game we'll talk about here in just a second. You've got Kentucky at Louisville. Also, you have Gonzaga, who just came off a couple of games back, defeating Tennessee. At 11-0, the Bulldogs at home against South Dakota. The Coyotes will roll into Gonzaga with a record of 9-5. Also, in top 25 basketball tonight, Northern Iowa at 5-5 will be at the Dean Dome, take on the North Carolina Tar Heels, who are 10-2. Also, you have tonight the UVA Cavaliers at 9-1. 12th ranked UVA will be at California on the left coast, who's 9-2. Pretty good ball game there, shaping up 9-1 against 9-2. Also tonight in college basketball, 13th ranked Butler, the Bulldogs, hosting the Vermont Catamounts. That'll be going on in Butler in Indiana. Also, Purdue, the Boilermakers, at 10-2 at home against Norfolk State, who is a 3-9 team. Also, top 25 play tonight. You've got the South Carolina Gamecocks at 9-1, hosting Clemson at 8-2, which is going to be a heck of a battle for bragging rights of South Carolina tonight. And that'll be Clemson at South Carolina in Columbia. Again, the Tigers at 8-2 and South Carolina at 9-1. We'll tip it up at 9 o'clock on ESPN tonight, again in South Carolina. So that is what you've got going on there in college basketball. The game tonight, no question. It'll be Kentucky, number 6 Kentucky, and number 11 Louisville. It is a blood feud, Calipari versus Pitino. Enough said. Louisville with the best defense in America. Cardinals are allowing only 59 points per game. John Calipari has said often he thinks his Kentucky team should become the best defensive team in the country later in the year. Right now it is the Louisville Cardinals. And so young man, of course, Malik Monk, who's having a heck of a year as a freshman, scored 46 his last time out to set a Kentucky freshman record. Malik Monk. And so this guy's the real deal. And Rick Pitino says, quote, "We're not going to slow it down against Kentucky. It's going to be a run and gun." They call it a rag game, run and gun tonight from Louisville. A blowout win for Kentucky is on the table? I don't think so. The spread for this game will be 1 or 2 points. Few predicting a double-digit win for the Wildcats, but there's a possibility these guys can put up some points. But again, the number 1 defensive team in the country are the Louisville Cardinals. So it'll be a train wreck when these two clash tonight, and it'll be a heck of a ball game from Louisville. Rick Pitino 1-8 all time against John Calipari. He is 5-12 against Kentucky. You better believe he's aware of these records as he gets ready for another showdown with the Big Blue Nation. That'll be tonight. And again, it'll be, as we said, in Louisville. Wildcats lead the all-time series 32-15. Kentucky has won 4 in a row. Also, Kentucky's won 8 out of the last 9. And so, big ball game tonight. Wildcats and the Cardinals in Louisville to take on the Rick Pitino-led and the number 1 defensive team in the country, the Louisville Cardinals. And so, can Malik Monk continue his winning ways and his outstanding shooting ways, I should say, the freshman for the Kentucky Wildcats. So that's a look at college basketball. Also, Sweet Georgia Brown, we've got high school basketball from last night. Let's run them down for you. First off, on the boys' side from last night, it was Alcoa defeating Elizabethton in the holiday tournament, 81-65. Fairview, Colorado defeated Auburn Minute 76-60 down in Orlando Disney. Hunters Lane beat Greenville by 2. Morristown East over St. James, South Carolina by 14. Rockwood beat United by 22 last night. Sullivan Central ends a 12-game losing skid to the Sullivan South Rebels by blowing them out by 30, 64-34 last night. Wartburg over Cloudland by 20. In Southwest Virginia, Gate City. Keep an eye on this team. These guys can play. Man, oh man, oh man. Mike McClung and Zach Irvin. Irvin had what, 36 last night? I get that right? 36 points. Let me make sure I said that correctly. 36 by sophomore Zach Urban. Mike McClung chipped in 26. Gate City blows out Daniel Boone 83-50 last night in Gate City to sweep them in the regular series. Chilhowie's boys over Holston by 30. Honaker beat Grundy by 16. J.I. Burton's guys beat Jenkins, Kentucky by 24. John Battle, a 2-point winner over Abington. Richlands beat Grayson County, Kentucky, I should say. Maybe Grayson County, Virginia. I guess it's Virginia. Beat them by 16. Tennessee High and the Bragging Rights of Bristol beat Virginia High 58-49 last night. Big win for Robbie Witcher's ball club. Union over Lebanon by 14. Wise Central over Rye Cove by 16. And boys winners last night. On the girls' side, you've got wins by Carter defeating Cock County. You beat them by 25. Cloudland beat Wartburg's ladies by 5. Dobbins Minute down in Florida beat Colonial High out of Florida 53-39. Morristown East Lady Hurricanes over Bourbon County, Kentucky 45-18 the final. You had Sullivan Central beating White County, Georgia 58-28, blew them out by 30. Unaka over Rockwood by 12. Also in Southwest Virginia, Holston's girls beat Chilhowie by 1, 45-44. Lebanon's ladies over Union 57-42. And also in the 21st annual Doc Maples Holiday Hoops Invitational, it starts tonight, 4 o'clock. Volunteers Lady Falcons taking on the St. Joseph's out of West Virginia. Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Sullivan East Lady Patriots take on Woodruff, South Carolina at 5:30. All this at Viking Hall in Bristol. Day 1 of the tournament. Host team, the Lady Vikings at Tennessee High taking on Lehigh at 7 o'clock. And then in the nightcap, Unaka, the Lady Rangers, taking on Hidden Valley, Virginia at 8:30. So game 1 at 4, game 2 at 5:30, game 3 at 7, game 4 at 8:30 tonight. The 21st annual Doc Maples Holiday Hoops Invitational at Viking Hall in Bristol. We'll take a quick break, come right back, and we'll be joined by the athletic director of Elizabethton High School, Mr. Mike Wilson, who has been kind enough to come by on his day off and hang out with us. Again, we're live at Brumit Sports here in downtown Elizabeth, and he can talk a lot about this shop. He knows the folks very well who own the place, and also he gets a lot of trophies and plaques from down here, as do a lot of schools. And again, it's not just a Carter County store. It's based in Elizabethton. Goodness gracious, they do work in Science Hill, Daniel Boone, Crockett, Unicoi County, Unaka, Cloudland. Of course, those are in Sullivan or in Carter County, but they've done middle schools. They do a little bit of everything, a little bit of everybody. And of course, if you're coming down the wire and need some gift-giving ideas, I know Lori was telling me there's big tote bags that the travel bags the kids use. They've got a lot of those, or some of those still in stock. They can sell for you and sell to you. And so we will talk to Mike Wilson, the athletic director from Elizabethton, right after this break. We're live here, by the way, thanks to Kelly. I said, Kelly, the ball cap, left my ball cap at home. And she said, well, what about this one? So I like it. It's black with an orange E trimmed out in white. I like it. Looks pretty good on an old cowboy. By the way, before we go to the break, again, the long hair, I want to give a shout-out to Locks for Love, the American Cancer Society, growing it for the link to get it cut to make wigs for folks who are going through radiation or chemo. It has to get the needed length, which we're almost there. So at least once a week, we give a shout-out to the American Cancer Society and the Locks for Love program that we're participating in. Quick break. We'll be right back. Kelly is in the house. Lori's in the house, and Mike Wilson's in the house. He joins us next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on AM 790 WETB. All right, Facebook folks, again, visit my new website, TomTaylorSports.com. Sign up for my email newsletter if you would, please. Also, you can click links to visit my Facebook page to watch this live stream. Be sure to like us and share us, please, on the live stream videos. So, again, go to the new website, TomTaylorSports.com. We would appreciate that very much. Hello, Jeff Droke. Appreciate you, my friend, watching, as you do more times than not. Thank you, sir. Hunter Locke, thank you as well. Julie Brannon. Gosh, Julie, I haven't talked to you in years. Thought your mama was one of the coolest teachers ever. Miss Brannon taught home ec up and home in the junior high. So, hello, Julie. Hope you're doing well. And I hope everything's ready for you guys up in West Virginia for Christmas. So, we'll come back in just a second and pick up here with more from Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. Mr. Ben, let me set the clock, my friend. What time is it? So I need to set it for 12 minutes at the top, right? Oh, this went too far. All right. Everything good?
It's awesome.
Is the movie playing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're playing War Rooms.
We're halfway done already. So.
What time is it?
Pull your stool up right there, I reckon.
What time is it,
Yeah,
Grandma?
here's your
Chair. Somebody grab his chair.
What time is it?
Oh, God. Don't want to unplug
It
me.
is
Oh, can't do that.
Let's use this. Let's use your stool.
Yeah.
8.
Here's your bracket for our tournament.
I called him and he didn't call me back, so I don't guess he's coming.
Who's that, Eddie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Up is
I can't see that. You realize I can't see that.
8:30?
We're back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. See if you got me going right there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Got a call coming in here. Jeff Droke's watching Facebook Live. Thank you, my friend. We're live here again. And let's let everybody see my man up here, the athletic director. Let me get that a little closer. There he is. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
There he is, Mike Wilson, athletic director from Elizabethton High School. And it's a downtime, but it really, for an athletic director, even though you're out for Christmas break, it's not really down. Things don't really stop at the school, and you're kind of gearing up for the second half of the school, or the second half of the winter sports schedule. Is that a fair statement?
That is true. Absolutely true. There's not a lot of downtime, honestly. And we've got, of course, the Chick-fil-A basketball tournament coming up at our place, the 27th through the 30th, so we're definitely getting ready for that.
In behind him, okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is just some, if you're watching on Facebook. These are some of the plaques, the medals, the trophies. This is one wall, and I'm not doing it justice on this camera, but it gives you a sense of what they've got over here. It's really unbelievable. And so you help out with the plaques and trophies from time to time, and you know firsthand there's a pile of them here, isn't there? He says yes. Yeah, so it is a cool place, and you guys get plaques and trophies already, or they do at Brumit Sports. They go everywhere, don't they? Not just in Elizabethton.
Oh, no, we've got folks that buy in North Carolina and all over East Tennessee. You know, it's definitely not just Carter County.
No, and that's the way the merchandise is here as well. So, again, we're showing the picture of way over there, all the different things that you can look at, and again, the trophies and plaques, and this little camera shot's not going to do it justice. That gives you a sense all the way down the wall. This is one part of the story here. Been at it for over 70 years again at Brumit Sports. We're talking to Mike Wilson, and let's jump in and talk about the Chick-fil-A Classic for just a second. Starts next Tuesday. You've expanded the tournament. It's going to be a great tournament, and it's going to be a great one to come watch, and it's not going to cost a whole lot of money to do that. Tell me about it.
Well, we've got 12 teams this year, and first day we have 4 games. The 27th we had 4. I think the 28th and 29th we have 6 games. And then on the 30th there's 4 more. So, you know, you're looking at 20 games, and it's $5 a day. And for $5 you can see 6 games on 2 days if you like, and 4 games on 2 other days. So it's a pretty good deal for what we're charging.
6 games for $5. My West Virginia math would tell me that's less than $1 a game, isn't it?
I think it is. My public school education doesn't fail me.
I don't take my boots off, start using my toes like Jethro Bodine to count, but I believe Lori will know this. Lori, if you take $5 divided by 6 games, that's less than $1 a game, isn't it? She said, yes, it is. So there, our cipher was good. So the Chick-fil-A Classic, that's the place that you want to come and check out. And again, it's going to be the John Treadway Gym at Elizabethton. That'll start on the 27th. Who are some of the teams involved? Of course, Elizabethton's a host school. Who are some of the other teams involved, big guy? Chucky Doak. I'll read it for you. Chucky Doak, Cloudland, Volunteer, Heritage. Sullivan Central, big win last night over their arch rival Sullivan South, beat them by 30 last night. So Coach Derek McGee's got them going well. They will take on Elizabethton and Lucas Honeycutt's ball club. East Hamilton and Happy Valley, that's the games on day 1. Day 2, Knox Central comes to town, the Bobcats. Morristown West, Cherokee, North Buncombe out of North Carolina. Those are the teams making up the field this year, and that's a good team, a good representation. Got some out-of-town teams, got some local teams. East Hamilton coming out of Chattanooga, right?
Right, and I may be mistaken. One of these teams I know, and I think it's that particular team, is coached by Rodney English, who plays ETSU.
Yeah. East Hamilton, former ETSU Buccaneer star Rodney English, coaching down at East Hamilton in the metro Chattanooga area. So, again, it starts on Tuesday, $5 a day to come in and watch these great basketball games. And it's going to be at the Elizabethton Gym or John Treadway Gymnasium. And, again, with Chucky Doe, Cloudland, Volunteer Central, Elizabethton, Happy Valley, Cherokee, Morristown West. Mike, I'd say you have a pretty good fan base coming in to watch these games. Weather's supposed to be great to be traveling, so I'm looking for big crowds when this thing starts Tuesday.
Well, I hope so. You know, it's basketball traditionally around here. January is when you start seeing, the conference matchups that people really, you get the huge crowds when we play East and Unicoi, people like that. But this is a great opportunity for folks who want to see a lot of basketball, and maybe want to see some teams that aren't in this area and see how teams here stack up with some of those teams.
6 before the hour, we're live at Brumit Sport, downtown Elizabethton. Again, if you're looking for Easton softball bats, they've got those. They've got, as we said, sweatshirts. They've got hoodies of your favorite high school teams in here. If you're looking for a basketball, they got a whole rack of basketballs for sale over here, footballs, volleyballs. If you're looking for a football helmet, if you need a helmet for a Christmas gift, they've got some of those in here. And so it really runs the gamut. This has been it's been a very, very cool place all these years, over 70 years in existence, and it's almost like an icon in Northeast Tennessee, Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton, right?
It really is, and I know when I came here many years ago, 1985, I came down here all the time and never dreamed that I would be part of this, but it's been great, and it's something Lori wanted to do, and the time was right, so we just got involved.
And you're here.
Absolutely.
And Mama's running the show and doing a great job.
That's right. She takes care of all the stuff with the folks, and I carry all the boxes and trophy parts upstairs and stack them up.
Mike says he's a roadie, he's a grunt. He does the grunt work, and that's okay. Somebody's got to do it. And there's another 2 or 3 boxes of trophies getting ready to go out over here. Where are those guys going to do you know?
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to deal with the customers. I just deal with the boxes of hardware.
You just moving from point A to point B.
I'm the gopher.
Do what you're told. You got it. I understand that. Right here in front of us, a table full of all kinds of T-shirts. Some are plain. Some are with their favorite school on it. So there's a lot of last-minute gift-giving ideas here at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth. Of course, right in behind us is a whole wall of, what is that, socks? All kinds of different sports socks. And
right.
Let's see if I can do this up behind us.
Can I say this to you? The thing here that Lori can do with all the equipment she has here, we customizes a lot of these shirts the way people want them. It's amazing what all they can do with that stuff.
Absolutely. So there's behind us, kind of gives a little snapshot of what it is, all the different socks you can order. Maybe not for Christmas. We got Little League coming up, not that far away, and soccer socks, and you can see a whole wall here behind us at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton where we are. And so, again, we've got a lot to show you here. Again, at Brumit Sports, been at it for over 70 years. You know, my boys play tonight. Calipari and the Wildcats take on Patino and the Cardinals. I didn't realize that. I just read it a few minutes ago. Rick Pitino is 1-8 all time against Kentucky, and Calipari owns him. They won 4 in a row. It's going to be a heck of a game tonight. Louisville's the best defensive team in the country. Of course, Kentucky is Kentucky. This kid named Malik Monk. So it's going to be two battleships colliding tonight in Louisville. Should be a heck of a ball game.
Well, I think it will be. And I have no idea who'll win, but it's two of the best teams in the country, no doubt. And, I'm going to watch.
Absolutely. Going to be a big game tonight. I'll be right there, too. Checking them out, the Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals. Tomorrow night, a little closer to home, sellout crowd at Freedom Hall. The Tennessee men's team coming to town. Haven't been up here, I think, in 53 years, coming to town to battle the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State, a red-hot basketball team. They got a big quality win on the road at Mississippi State last week against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And so the Bucks and the Vols play tomorrow night. Sold out Freedom Hall in Johnson City. It's going to be televised. That'll be an electric atmosphere tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I don't know what to make of that one either. Obviously, the Bucks are very good, beating Mississippi State. But Tennessee had North Carolina beaten and let it get away. So I think, Rick Barnes is doing a good job there. So I don't know. That one's hard to get a read on, honestly, as to who's going to win that ball game.
Rick Barnes has got over 600 wins. He's the all-time winningest coach at Texas. He's beat him in the NCAA tournament 22 times. This ain't his first rodeo, so I'm thinking he's probably not really taken back too much to the fact they're coming into Freedom Hall. It's going to be a great game, but I think it's Tennessee's game to lose, quite frankly. I think they come in with some momentum. Buck fans may argue that point, but Tennessee's still Tennessee, and they're pretty good. But so are the Bucks. I shouldn't.
Well, it is, it's the SEC. But it didn't matter when they played Mississippi State at Mississippi State. So I would think Tennessee would be favored, but
not much.
They shouldn't overlook them.
No, shouldn't overlook them, and they may not be favored by much at all, if at any. But anyway, it's tomorrow night, Freedom Hall. That's why we just sit and talk about it, let somebody else decide who's going to win. But it is going to be a heck of a game. The atmosphere will be electric tomorrow night at Freedom Hall in Johnson City. We're talking to Mike Wilson, the athletic director from Elizabethton. We're live here at Brumit Sports. Jeff Birchfield's here. He'll join us coming up in a few minutes. He's got a great story today in the Johnson City Press about Fulkerson, the kid from DB, formerly at DB. At 6'7", again, injured, can't play tomorrow night. Very disappointed, but again, he said, what a thrill to come back into the old hometown and play in front of the home fan base. And so it's going to be a special night for that young man, even though he can't play. So lots going on around the area. So the Chick-fil-A Classic starts Tuesday, we're talking about. 4 games on Tuesday, 3:30, 5 o'clock, 6:30, and 8. Coming up on Tuesday night, again, at John Treadway Gymnasium. We're talking to Mike Wilson, the athletic director from Elizabethton. So folks out there who have no clue, kind of give a sense what is involved as the athletic director at a high school. The size, I don't guess it makes any difference what size the school is. You got to get vans gassed up and get folks eligible and get uniforms ordered. I mean, it's nonstop, even over the Christmas break, right?
It is. Obviously, I think the two biggest, you can't say that, but dealing with finances. You got to pay the bills.
Absolutely.
You got to be in compliance with the TSSAA. And I think if you want to win, the most important thing that we can do in administration, we can't control really the abilities of our players. And in the normal high school situation, you're going to have years where you have great players, and you're going to have years when it's not as good. But the one thing we can control is the quality of our coaching staff, and we've done that, and I think we've done that well, and I think that's why we've had some success, and we have a great community that supports us.
The TSSAA has reset, of course, as you well know, the bracketing, or there's not bracketing, but the classification for the next 4 years. Are you okay with that? Everything good, do you think? You think they got it right this time or not?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have too many classes. I think we'd be better off with 5 classes, and that would help to alleviate some of the travel issues. And I spoke with Mike Reed from Morristown West, who's on the Board of Control, and expressed that to him, and frankly, he agreed with me. But it's some of the smaller schools like being 6 classifications. They don't mind the travel as much. But I told Mike, I said, some of the things that people don't understand is you probably have 3 sports in a high school that make money or break even. You're talking football, basketball, and maybe baseball. Soccer is growing. That is encouraging to me. Soccer is growing and bringing in more and more revenue at their games, which is great. But I think that sport's growing across the country as a whole, and that may become a revenue sport, big-time revenue sport for whoever the next athletic director is. But that is encouraging. But there's a lot to do. I mean, just like today, I'm scrambling at school to be sure we've got keys for all the dressing rooms that we can give the coaches and have a backup for us. And there's a million things that go on. Getting your workers there. You know, you got to have people on the clock. You got to have people on the books. You got to have people selling tickets. And over the holiday season, it's tough to get folks to commit to that. So
Sure.
you've just got a million and one things that you have to take care of.
Right now, you're working with boys basketball, girls basketball at Elizabethton. You've got wrestling. You've got swimming. I get them all?
Yes, sir. In the winter, you only have 4 sports, but they play all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling and basketball. It's unbelievable how many games they have.
I want to ask you this, too. We're talking again to Mike Wilson, athletic director from Elizabethton. We're live here at Brumit Sports. Jeff Birchfield is going to join us coming up for a few minutes from the NASCAR beat writer for the John City Press. I got on my soapbox yesterday. Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right. Leonard Fournette, LSU, says, I'm not going to play my last game my senior season because I'm going to join the NFL. I want to protect myself. Now, Christian McCaffrey's come out and said he's not going to play. He decides he's going to spare himself, Heisman Trophy runner-up from a year ago. He said, I'm going to play my final game so I can get ready for the NFL draft. Now, I've got one come out today, and I can't remember. I'll have to look him up. I've got it here in my stack. Young man that's from Baylor says now he's not going to play. So, as I said yesterday, we're going to have a precedent set, and we have. We've opened up Pandora's box. As an athletic director, I know you're in a high school, so it's not the same as a college AD, but, you know, I'm old school. I say, yes, you're on this football team or basketball team, whatever, in this case football. You have made the commitment. We have provided you a scholarship. Your hiney needs to be there and play every game for the team, the fan base, and some folks. And I've got on the internet last night and watched some of these national guys, and they said, man, it's not a problem because these guys can get hurt in this last game and ruin their chances for the NFL, which I agree. But so some of the guys on the national scene say it's okay. I disagree. I think they need to be there. I'm old school. What is your take on that from an athletic or just from a fan's perspective?
Well, you know, I would try to put myself in their place, and I agree with you. You make a commitment, you ought to live up to it. And I believe in that. But I think there's an answer to this that nobody's talking about, and I don't know that some players do this. They can take out an insurance policy that if they get hurt and they can't pursue their career, that they can collect on that policy. And I think that is probably the best answer. I'll be honest with you, I would be very upset. You know, I'm interested to see if any kids that are playing in a national playoff do this, and I'm betting they won't.
Right. Why would they? Well, I guess they would just.
Yeah, but I can't understand. I got to be honest with you. I got a wife, 3 kids. You know, and you're talking about guys that may get $10 million contracts or more, and you think if you really think about what that would do for your family and your children and everything that you're going to have in the future, I'm not going to say that I can't understand what their mindset is. I do think the right thing is to live up to the commitment, and I do think that the solution would be for these guys to take out these insurance policies that they could collect on should they get hurt.
It's interesting to me that none of the or neither coaches have I heard. The coaching staff has ever, at least I haven't seen anything where they've weighed in on a pro or con. Nor have the athletic director, nor has the fan base. I mean, the alumni. You know, nobody seems to. At least I haven't been able to find anything where people have reacted to this. But I would think if I'm driving to the Citrus Bowl to see LSU, part of my ticket, I'd like to see their best running back out there, Leonard Fournette. That would just be me.
I get that. You know, on the other hand, if you're playing in the the whatever bowl,
yeah,
and you've got that career in front of you, and I mean, there's 2 sides to it.
I know. I'm old school, and I'm going with the. I made the commitment. I need to be there. So. Anyway,
I agree with that. It's hard to disagree with that.
Food for thought. But anyway, we're talking to Mike Wilson, the athletic director at Elizabethton. So, again, Brumit Sports, give us a pitch one more time. They've got some last-minute gift-giving ideas here. They got the Easton bats. Certainly, if you're looking for a softball or baseball bat, they've got those here in stock. You can see the display up here. Where you
about anything you could want, we can get it. We have it, or we can get it. And again. I just, think that the best thing here is, like, particularly with the shirt. Yeah, we even have trophies with businessmen figures. We have, like I said, religious symbols. We have, like, people have vacation Bible school, and they give awards and so forth. And some of it we even have prank trophies. You can get a trophy with the backside of a horse on the trophy. I've got a box full of those upstairs. I mean, you name it, we have it.
There you go. Brumit Sports been here over 70 years and going strong here because Lori Wilson's doing a fabulous job running this operation, no question. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, good man right there. Mike Wilson, the athletic director again at Elizabethton High School. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. We're live again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. My man Jeff Birchfield's in the house. We'll talk a little sports from his side of the fence. Sports writer of the Johnson City Press. Hello to Elaine Powers. Hello to the old Kentucky Ridge Runner. Hello, young lady. How are you? She says, go Cats. Yep. Kentucky plays Louisville tonight in Louisville at the KFC. What's it called? The Yum Yum Arena, I believe is the name of it. And so Patino 1-8 against Calipari and 5-12 lifetime against Kentucky. I didn't know that it was that lopsided to the negative for Rick Pitino coaching head-to-head against the Kentucky Wildcats. Ken Forty, hello, my friend. Appreciate you. Also, Jeff Droke, hello to you. And Becky Urban, hello to you. And to my buddy Elaine Powers, who's got two very, very nice daughters, Ashley and Aaron. And, of course, think the world of her hubby, Coach Clark Powers, who helped us during the Hardee's Classic. And just the guy's forgot more basketball than most of us know. And he is phenomenal as a color commentator, and we're getting ready to do some more games. We're going to get him on and let him help us out. He's very, very good. We're live here again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. Quick break. Birchfield comes along to join us coming up next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on AM 790 WETB and also on Facebook Live. We'll come out with a touchdown. Is that good, Commander? Okay. It was a good segment. So, yeah, it hit the top of the hour, and I reset it, and I forgot to do that. I just reset my clock, so that's on me. That's my bad. So, hey, Facebook folks, again, visit my new website at TomTaylorSports.com. Also, sign up for my email newsletter. Also, be sure to like us and share us. I'd appreciate that very much. Our live stream videos and posts on Facebook and on Twitter. Again, we are growing by leaps and bounds thanks to Appalachian Digital, our buddy Jeremiah Clark. You can go to their website, check them out at AppalachianDigital.com. You can see for yourself what they're doing and how they can help you with your business, too. They can help anybody's business, and again, they are very, very affordable and do a phenomenal job. And so we would encourage you to check them out at AppalachianDigital.com. And again, check us out, please, our new website at TomTaylorSports.com. We'll be right back with Jeff Birchfield coming up here in a few minutes. Hello, Tom T. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Elaine. Appreciate you very much. And your lovely daughters and your granddaughters and your hubbin'. So the Kentucky Ridge Runner. Hello to Elaine Powers. She's an icing. Hello, Brother Birchfield. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing good. We'll get you on the camera here in just a second so they can see your pretty face. So,
we're on the break, right?
Yeah, we're on a radio break, but.
Oh, I said you're wanting to break your camera.
Oh, there's no, we're good. So, we'll talk about Fulkerson. That'll be good.
Cool.
Thank you, Ben Foy. Again, our producer extraordinaire. Again, give us a call right now, 929-7900. Your final chance to win cold cash is this Friday. We're giving away money to Bill Lister of Gray and Betty Herring of Kingsport. We're going to give it away to you. If you're caller number 2, we'll get you qualified. We'll give it away Friday. Again, the number to call is 929-7900. 929-7900. Let's get you in the bucket to win some cold cash. Again, from us right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. All you got to do is call. Be caller number 2 right now. Ben's waiting on you. 929-7900. Why would you not call up Take, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds of your time to make a phone call and get yourself qualified. Caller 2, we're waiting on you. We'll find out who that is coming up here in just a second. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth. And love coming over here. Jeff Birchfield, Johnson City Press. When I told you we were going to be at Brumit, you said, wow, I want to come over to Brumit's because this brings back memories for you too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, I'm a old Valley guy, so grew up around here for sure.
And there he is on camera, our buddy Jeff Birchfield, the NASCAR beat writer for the Johnson City Press. Before we get into NASCAR, let's talk about your article on the front page today about the young man, again, Fulkerson from Dobbins Minute, with the Tennessee men's team coming to town tomorrow night. Can't play because he's banged up and injured, but a great article on the front page of the Johnson City Press today.
Well, thank you very much. I like the headline, like he's disappointed, but he's not discouraged, because that's one thing sort of caught my attention. When I talked to him, I thought he might be down and out and all, but I mean, he's real positive attitude and all. So, you think he's just looking forward to getting back and playing for the Vols. Talked about what a privilege it is, to play for the Vols and to run through the tunnel there and all. And, big thrill for anybody who grows up in this area to play for Tennessee for sure.
Absolutely. Of course, he left Dobbins Minute to go to Christ School over in North Carolina. He said to give himself some more exposure. Obviously, it worked. He's coaching at Tennessee, but he had some nice things to say about Charlie Morgan and the Dobbins Minute coaching staff that he left behind in Kingsport.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have any ill will toward them. Like you said, it's just more of an opportunity for himself. It wasn't anything negative toward the folks over at Kingsport at all. Charlie's obviously done a great job over there, and I mean, playing for Dobbins Bennett is a pretty big thrill too. I mean, that is the winningest high school basketball program in the entire nation.
A lot of folks don't know that. That's some more wins than North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, any NBA team in the game of basketball. Dobbins Bennett High School in Kingsport has more wins than any other program on any level of basketball, be it pro, college, high school, which is phenomenal. But the record's right there in the Buck Van Ness Dome. You see it every time you come in there, and that's pretty cool.
I didn't realize there's any level of basketball. I would have sort of thought the Lakers or Celtics might have surpassed that just with all the games they play. So, yeah, it's definitely a record to be proud of. We've always heard of Buck Van Ness. Obviously, he had big ties here in Carter County. He went to high school at Happy Valley and coached at Hampton before he was over at Dobbins Bennett. But beyond Buck, I mean, you had guys like Guy B. Crawford. I mean, that program goes all the way back to the 20s. Just a terrific history with Dobbins Bennett basketball.
Talking to Jeff Birchfield. We're live here on Facebook Live and also on AM 790 WETV. We're live here again in downtown Elizabethton and Brumit Sports. You are listening to, by the way, AM 790 WETV, Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol. Tomorrow night, Tennessee and East Tennessee State. I would think by just the slimmest of margins, Tennessee may be a little bit favored coming into the game. Some ETSU folks may argue that point, but I think Tennessee would be just a slight edge, even though they're coming to Freedom Hall against ETSU. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were probably odds would favor Tennessee just simply because, it is a bigger program. But, I mean, I think ETSU's got an excellent shot of pulling that thing off tomorrow night. I mean, they've been looking forward to that game. Coach Forbes, is going to have the guys motivated and all that. Of course, Tennessee's looked pretty good in the recent weeks. I mean, they pushed Gonzaga pretty good on Sunday after they fell behind early. But, North Carolina game went down to the wire, and, they went to overtime with Oregon. That's sort of the breakout game for Fulkerson. He played like 37 minutes in that game, had a huge game there. Romped, Georgia Tech, which is down this year, but I mean, they absolutely destroyed Georgia Tech. So, Tennessee is going to be hard to handle. But on the other hand, ETSU lost the game up at Dayton, but they bounced back and big win over Mississippi State, and then took care of business like expected against Morehead State last Saturday.
12:13, we're live again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth, and here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show with you to 1 o'clock. We turn things over to the teaching and preaching of Charles Stanley, as only he can do. So we're live here. You see it behind us, the socks. You can get here at Brumit Sports for football or for soccer or for Little League coming up. Let's see, there's some more pictures here behind us. We'll see if I can do a shot over here in behind Jeff. Look at all those trophies and plaques on Facebook Live. If you're watching Facebook Live at TomTaylorSports.com. Trying to run all the way down through there. And again, this is, I'm doing a cell phone camera, but it gives you a sense of what's over here. Plaques and trophies you can order. Is that not phenomenal? Look at that.
It is. They got a lot of great memorabilia, too. I see the Terry Labonte poster there. They've got a big photo I saw, Jason Witten, just a lot of great memorabilia in here as well for the sports fans. So I like those old pennants up there.
Got some old pennants of the Twins, the Eagle. Look right up there. Look The best one right up there beside the Eagles.
Got the Raiders right there.
The Raiders. Can I get a picture of that up there? Let's see. Is that on the camera? Yeah, there. You can barely see it. There's a picture of my boys, the Raiders.
Got your little Tennessee basketball hoop hanging up there as well.
There you go. And, of course, there's a big, giant, blown-up picture of Lynn Duggar and the state championship Lady Cyclone basketball team here at Brumit Sports. So, yeah, it really is a throwback. And there's Texas Terry Labonte's yard car, the number 5 Kellogg's Cornflakes. That was my driver, Terry Labonte. Loved. They call him the Iceman. So, anyway.
I always remember that night at Bristol. I mean, people forget about that, but Dale Earnhardt, was really, they almost booed him out of the place that night.
Let's talk about it. We're talking NASCAR. Let's switch gears down to Jeff Birchfield again. We're live here again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton, having a big time. I want to come back in January, too, where I can wander up and down through with my camera and show folks more what they can get. Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. There's 67 days till Daytona. I think we've talked about this, and I'll talk about this with Angie, your cohort from the press. You like Monster Energy coming on board as the new sponsor for the Cup Series?
I like Monster Energy. I'm not crazy over that name, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. I wish they just called it Monster Cup or whatever. It would sound a little easier, as far as print and all that. And it just sounds better to me.
Hello, Rick Ranson. Rick Ranson watches us, I believe, in West Virginia. I don't know where Rick lives. We grew up together in West Virginia. So, Rick Ranson, wherever you may be, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Again, the 61 days before the Clash, actually it's less than that now, it would be 59 days till the Clash kicks off the 2016 season, or 17 season at Daytona. NASCAR's got a new name, again, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. We have talked about this a lot during the NASCAR season, how NASCAR has to get the younger fans involved in NASCAR. Do you think this is going to take a big step in doing that?
I think it is a good sponsor to attract some younger fans like that, obviously, with Monster Energy. You hope they can bring, no pun intended, energy to the sport, and also, they seem to be a really good fit. I mean, they've been involved in racing for a while with the Busch brothers, who sponsor both Kyle Busch's car and Kurt Busch's car there in the Cup Series. So, you think it would be a good fit.
Speaking of the Busch boys, Kurt and Kyle, the brothers, going to be in they're going to be called the 2017 Race of Champions next month in Marlins Park in Miami, Florida. The Busch brothers are among a star-studded roster of racers from a host of motorsports disciplines around the world, including Formula One, IndyCar, Le Mans, MotoGP, and Rally X. If you're Joe Gibbs or if you're Stuart Haas, are you good with this, or is that going to make you a little antsy? These guys are going to be racing out of the NASCAR arena before the season gets going.
I'm good with this. I mean, that's an event that's been over the years. Actually, there has been a couple NASCAR drivers have won Race of Champions before. This is not like the old IROC, the International Race of Champions. This is more of a competition. The cars aren't really like race cars like you're used to seeing with IndyCar, Formula One, or with NASCAR, something totally different. But one year, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson teamed up, and they actually won that, which says a lot because you've had guys like Michael Schumacher and, all the guys who are considered the very best drivers in the world. So, for Jeff and Jimmy to go over there and win that thing one year, was phenomenal for Team USA.
We're talking to Jeff Birchfield, the NASCAR beat writer. Again, we're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Of course, they're open 6 days a week, and they're going to be open all the way up until Friday. And I think she said for a little while on Christmas Eve, but not for long because they want to get away and hang out with their family like the rest of us do, and I certainly get that. NASCAR, any other news? Greg Biffle, where's he going? Any of these driver spots been filled since the last time we visited?
Well, since last time we visited, Greg Biffle, still haven't heard anything on him. But I guess the biggest news, the fact that Richard Petty Motorsports actually announced they're going to go down to one team. They weren't able to come up with extra sponsorship for that 44 car, which that is not a good sign for the sport. I mean, to have a marquee name like Richard Petty only being able to field one team this year for sure.
So for folks out there who may not know, give me a ballpark number. I don't know if you know exactly, but a ballpark number, what it costs to fund a NASCAR Monster Energy Cup team for 2017.
I be honest, I don't know the exact numbers, now, but I'm going to guess it's probably somewhere within the $25 million a year range, which is, obviously very expensive, and not a ton of companies are able to afford that. I think that's one reason you see, a lot of times anymore, these teams have so many different sponsors, like, say, with Matt Kenseth. in years past they'd have Dollar General so many races and then Home Depot with so many races and all that. So, I think that's why you see agreements like that now.
Rick Ranson lives in Pensacola, Florida. I watch your show at lunch any chance I get. Thank you, Rick Ranson. Loved his daddy. He was one of the great umpires. I was a Little League baseball player back in West Virginia. So Rick Ranson in Pensacola, Florida, thank you for watching us on Facebook Live. We're talking to Jeff Birchfield. Again, you and I are involved at Bristol Motor Speedway. You as a sports writer, me as the public address announcer. And so gearing up for another big year at Bristol, and the ticket sales are very brisk for I know they're selling a lot of them for stocking stuffers for Christmas, and understandably so. So it's not that far away. It looks like it's going to be a great year of racing at Bristol.
Yeah, I hope so. You was talking Pensacola, your buddy down there. One of the great races over the winter is short track race, Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway there in Pensacola and stuff. So, I'm sure that's something Rick's probably well aware of. But then, you've got with Bristol, like you said, they've already been promoting for a few weeks now. Even before it was officially announced, they sort of had an inkling that Dale Jr. is going to be back. So, see his return to Bristol in 2017. A lot of people excited about that. You think might be a breakout year for Chase Elliott. I think he's, a guy who can maybe take the sport to the next level. And then, with the 7th championship, I think people are starting to really appreciate what all Jimmy Johnson's been able to accomplish in the sport, One thing I think the sport could use right now is another, you used to have such a big deal on the manufacturers. Penske racing strong, but I think it'd do the sport some good if you had another really strong Ford team out there.
Ford, and also has been talk about Dodge coming back. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off this year, but they keep dropping hints they may be able to go Dodge. Do you think that's going to happen this year or next year?
That'd probably more next year. That's something probably more down the line. But, yeah, Dodge, I think their involvement in the sport also helps. When I was a little kid, I had an uncle who lived over in Hickory, North Carolina. He's a huge Richard Petty fan. He loved the Dodges and Fords. He's one of these guys cheered for the car making. He could not stand David Pearson or anybody who drove a Ford, or Mercury or those type of cars. And you've lost that in the years, since I've sort of argued over the years that really when the sport changed as far as that was such a big deal. And then you had Davey Allison get killed, because I think about what a huge rivalry that could have been throughout the 90s and early 2000s if you'd had Davey Allison in the Ford and Jeff Gordon in the Chevy. I think that car rivalry would still been a big deal.
Don and Jeff Birchfield, the NASCAR beat writer for the Johnson City Press, our local paper. We're live here again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton until the top of the hour. We'll turn things over to, again, Charles Stanley, the preaching and teaching, again, here on AM 790 WETB. Do want to give a shout-out to one of our great sponsors, the Cherokee Barbershop, the Gator Man. Again, when the barber pole's out, the Gator Man's in. The Gator Man went over the 200 mark for brand-new first-time customers here in the calendar year 2016, which is awesome. He's a one-man shop, and so this guy's, he does it and does it well. He's right down below the Tipton Haynes Working Farm in South Johnson City in Executive Park South. So when the barber pole's out, the Gator Man's in. We'll find out his hours. I know he's going to take some time off over the Christmas. He's been busy, standing up on his feet all day, and over and above his regular customers, he has cut hair on over 200 brand new first-time people. It's been a phenomenal year, and we're so pleased we can say we've helped promote that in a small way, his great barbershop in South Johnson City. So appreciate him very much. The Gator Man and Cherokee Barbershop in Executive Park South office complex right down below Tipton Haynes Working Farm in South Roan in South Johnson City. We're talking again to our buddy Jeff Birchfield. Back to Kyle Busch. He announced this yesterday. They've limited to the number of races you can drive now in the smaller, not the smaller series, but the truck race, or the truck series, I should say, and the Xfinity series. And so he announced he's going to do 5 races, and none of those are going to be at Bristol where he's dominated. So he will be in the truck in Atlanta, also in Kansas, Charlotte, Pocono, and Michigan. And so kind of disappointed he's not going to be up on the high banks of Bristol this year.
Yeah, definitely. Because he has had so much success at Bristol, but a lot of that is dictated by sponsors and wherever they feel marketing may help them most. Maybe they're with Pocono in particular, they may have like a particular, if it's a company sponsoring them, like a particular store or whatever they're trying to promote in that area. So that might be, the reason he's doing Pocono instead of Bristol this year.
It's a ways off, but just going to give you a heads up. We're going to be giving away tickets to the races again this year in the spring and the fall, so we're very excited about that. Bristol Motor Speedway, one of our great sponsors here on the show. May 19th, 20th, and 21st, Jeff Birchfield, the inaugural U.S. Nationals of Short Track Racing, will be at the world's fastest half mile in Bristol. Pretty exciting, 6 categories. Super late models, pro late models, late model stocks, modifieds, street stocks, and compacts are coming to town. This ought to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's like, I think last time I was on the show we were talking about that. And maybe the most entertaining race I've ever seen at Bristol is when that Frank Kimmel Street Stock Series came there. It was 75 laps, but man, there was probably more action in that 75 laps than a lot of 500 lap races, So, I mean, just a terrific show. And I think it's going to be a big deal. And, of course, the main event, like you're talking about, those 3 late model races are scheduled the day after the NASCAR All-Star race in Charlotte. So they're hoping to get maybe Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott and a couple of those other guys over here.
12:29, we're live again at Brumit Sports with you for another hour, broadcasting live here at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. So you get ready for NASCAR. What are the guys doing right now, Danica? Are they still with family? Of course, it's Christmas. Well, that's the wrong question. I know they're going to be with their family right now. Right after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, they're laying low right now till after Saturday and Sunday. Then things kick in. What starts happening then?
Well, a lot of times they knock out a lot of the sponsor appearances. They'll try to do a lot of the meet and greets and stuff here during the off season. Then they start, testing typically next month, and then the NASCAR media tour down in Charlotte is the end of January. I think I'm scheduled to be on it again, so then they meet with all the members of the media, and that's when they film a lot of those things you see during the race. Like where they're walking out I can't remember the name, vignettes or whatever, that they do on that deal.
Vignettes, little vignettes. Yeah, you got it, little vignettes. And, of course, a lot of them, too, this is when they do the recording for the commercials and do the promotional stuff for their sponsors is the month of January, at least the first part of it. And so they really don't get a whole lot of downtime. I mean, the season was over mid-November down at Homestead. Then you had the banquet. And then, of course, they've made some personal appearances around. And I know, you look up and they maybe take a total of a week or 2 off, and then they're right back at it, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's a different sport. I mean, I know a lot of times people will say, well, they have such a long season, which they do. But, I mean, it is different than the stick and ball sports. I mean, they have other obligations, obviously, with sponsors and deals like that. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do the same workout routines and stuff like you would for football or basketball or anything like that. But, you have more obligations on the business side. But, I mean, those guys, when I say that, there's no disrespect because, I mean, about all of them are in, some type of really strenuous workout routine. I mean, you had a few exceptions like Tony Stewart and some of those guys, but most of the guys, really see the importance of, staying in, tip-top shape and all.
Here's the logo, by the way. I don't know if I'm not going to do it justice here, but there's the logo. Do I have it tailored sideways? I do on Facebook. Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series is what it's called, and it's backwards, and so I'm not going to do it anymore. But Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. In closing here, grade NASCAR. You've been around it for many, many, many years as a fan. Now as a working professional journalist who does a phenomenal job covering the sport for the local Johnson City Press. So, in your humble opinion, how healthy is NASCAR? What do you think needs to be done? Give me your state of the union of this sport right now.
Well, I would say it's probably around a B- or a C+. I mean, the sport is still, a huge deal and all, but I mean, I think they need to work some more with the television partners, particularly with the NBC Sports Network. And this is my personal opinion, but I mean, I think NASCAR. I know the old saying the grass is greener, but sometimes with ESPN, it's just such a good partner. And I mean, ESPN rules sports in so many ways. I hate that they're not involved with them. With Fox, they obviously do a good job promoting the sport and all as well. It is a little disconcerting, when Dale Jr.'s hurt, that the interest in the sport, drops off so much. They need to be building new stars for sure.
Who would that be? Chase Elliott? Would that be one of them?
I think Chase is probably the biggest one, I mean, he's sort of like Junior legacy. His dad was obviously the most popular driver so many times and all that. But, I mean, beyond them, Ryan Blaney, I think, has a lot of potential, could be a really great driver, in the right situation, But, of course, Kyle Busch. I mean, some of these guys, Joey Logano, a lot of these guys have, a lot of career years left in their career, in theory. So, you would hope they'd be able to build, fan bases, and people like Kyle, you've seen this yourself. People really come around to him a lot the last couple of years for sure after he, suffered through the leg injury and all that and the way he bounced back from that.
Danica Patrick, tell me about her and your humble opinion. And number two, is there another Danica Patrick up on the horizon, another female driver in the pipeline, if you will?
Well, there's a couple of female drivers, that are actually in the development stages right now. But as far as Danica, I'm not to be negative, but I don't see her winning a race unless it'd be like a restrictor plate race or something like that, or a fuel mileage deal. I mean, she's just not been as competitive, and I mean, she's in the best of equipment. Obviously, if you see what Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch have done winning races in those Stewart-Haas cars, and then, she's not even come close to sniffing, a win so far. So that's not being negative toward her, just
being
factual. Facts out there.
Being factual. Clint Boyer taking over the Tony Stewart ride. What do you see for Boyer? Can he bring some success to the 14 car this year?
Yeah, I think he'll probably return to victory lane this year. I don't really see him as a championship contender, but maybe, he'll prove me wrong. Clint, he'd be a guy, would be good to see him have success because he is a guy that a lot of fans, relate to. He's just a real outgoing personality, really good guy to deal with, overall.
Hot button topic before I let you go, totally off NASCAR. Christian McCaffrey says he's not going to play. Leonard Fournette says he's not going to play. Got a new guy here today. I just had it right here, and I'll have to. It's Linwood, a young man from Baylor, says now he's not going to play. He's going to forego his bowl game to protect himself for the NFL draft. What's your take on that?
Different things. I heard you and Mike Wilson, the Elizabethton athletic director, talking about that earlier. I mean, I understand from the players' perspective, they've got a lot of years ahead of them with the career, but I understand what you're saying as well. Hey, this school is giving you this scholarship to play, and now, now you're going to just tell your teammates, no, I'm not going to participate in the bowl game. But I do think one problem, and Mike was talking about that with TSSAA having too many classifications in football, and we talked about this subject a few weeks ago, being here in Elizabethton, but the whole deal with UNAIC and the 1-9 football team, and I think you run into the same problem. There's just simply too many bowl games. I like watching football as much as anyone, but I'll be honest, I didn't get too excited last night watching the Boca Raton Bowl between Western Kentucky and Memphis. Just a casual interest. I like it, maybe not back in the 70s when there were that few bowl games, but I wish maybe the bowl games were cut in half. And I'm not a fan at all 5 and 7 teams going to bowl games, even though some of those have turned out to be, really good games. But I don't even like a 6 and 6 team being a bowl game. I think you need to have a winning record, to be honest, to make a bowl.
Well, I know the Miami Beach Bowl on Monday night or Monday afternoon, which why would you have it on Monday afternoon on a work day in Miami, Florida, Christmas week? But they had less than 10,000 in the stands, and they showed an aerial shot they played at Marlins Park. Was nobody there. Less than 10,000 for the entire game. I don't know what they had last night. I don't know what kind of attendance, but again, I'm from the school that if you signed that if it was me, I'd play. Okay. Folks say, well, if you may get hurt and ruin your NFL career, you know what? I could walk out here and step off this curb and roll an ankle and not be able to play again because of something stupid I've done. So, and I know the chances increase by being out on a football field, a bunch of guys trying to knock your block off. I get that, but there's just something wrong with a kid walking up and saying, I'm not going to play now. And all you guys have been out there blocking for me and busting your tail for me, and I'm the Heisman Trophy runner-up from a year ago. We're talking about Christian McCaffrey from Stanford. Says, I'm not going to play. I'm going to worry about me. Then that's not, if I'm an NFL scout, I'm thinking, do I want to take a chance with this kid? Because he obviously is not a team player. It's all about him. But some folks, again, as I said earlier on the show, I've watched some of the national guys. They think this is okay and there's not a problem at all for these guys to say no to their team and their fan base. And I think that's wrong, but some folks think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from on that totally. And it's not exactly the same, but sort of along those lines, like some coaches, they don't want their players to participate in other sports, I mean, I've heard that, but then I've heard coaches like Urban Meyer say, if a guy's playing basketball or another sport like that he sees as not his primary sport and how he interacts with his teammates maybe in a sport where he's not quite as talented in, that really tells them a whole lot about a guy, when he's recruiting them and all. And, they like that. And a prime examples here in Elizabethton, Phil Fulmer talked about just how valuable it was that Jason Witten played high school basketball and all. There's so many, between those two sports anyway, if you're a receiver, there's so many skills that like going for like a jump ball and boxing out and all that is some of the same skill sets obviously needed if you're a tight end or wide receiver.
Tonight, by the way, hello to Ron Bedford. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live. Wherever you may be on AM 790, thank you for listening. And also on WETB790.com, thank you for listening. Tonight is the Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego. BYU takes on Wyoming at 9 o'clock. Is that a ho-hummer? Is that going to be a good one?
What Nelly? I'm telling you, it's going to be a whole hummer with the BYU Wyoming here, the Poinsettia Bowl.
There you go.
All kidding aside, and that's being a little sarcastic, obviously, at the Keith Jackson impression, but it's not a whole lot to get excited about, particularly if you live in this area of the country. Maybe if you live in Utah or out, in the Mountain West, it might be a little more exciting for you, but yeah, that one's not one that I actually see myself watching tonight.
Former Tennessee quarterback who left the program, Riley Ferguson. His grandfather is the pastor of Gunnings Baptist Church in Bloomville. Transferred to Memphis. Memphis, baby. Had a big night last night. Set a school record, 30 touchdown passes in the season. Kid 6'5" out of Matthews, North Carolina. Walks away from the Tennessee program. Moves over to Memphis and had a big night last night in the Boca Raton Bowl.
Yeah, those Tennessee quarterbers have seemed to do well after they transferred, because there was Riley Ferguson, and then Nathan Peterman's had a really good year up at Pittsburgh as well. So Tennessee's obviously done a good job recruiting, but the problem you run into, only one guy can play at a time. But things have worked out well for the Vols as well. I think Josh Dobbs, has done obviously a good job as Tennessee quarterback as well.
By the way, the young man I'm talking about from Baylor is senior running back Shock Linwood is his name. And so he has decided he's not going to play in their bowl game coming up. And so the Baylor Bear rusher, again, leading rusher in 2014 and 15, says, I'm not going to play in the upcoming bowl game. They're going to take on Boise State in the Cactus Bowl in Phoenix on Tuesday of next week. He said, nope, I'm not going to play. So that's 3 now. In the last 2 days have said we're not going to play football for their team for the college bowl season. So, and I for one disagree with that. But that's okay.
I agree with you. But you go down some of this list of bowl games. We were looking at there, like the Bahamas Bowl tomorrow at the Old Dominion in Eastern Michigan. Not a lot to get excited about there. Louisiana Tech and Navy in the Armed Forces Bowl, or Ohio and Troy. The St. Pete Bowl I see there with Miami, Ohio against a Mississippi State team that went 5-7 was really disappointing this year. There's a lot of duds in those bowl games. Until you start. The first good one I really see on that list is the Independence Bowl between NC State and Vanderbilt. I see a little bit of appeal with that one.
Not much after that, or not before that. But anyway, I guess the fan bases would argue that point. But like the Bahamas Bowl on Thursday night, tomorrow night. Friday night, Old Dominion and Eastern Michigan. Pop the popcorn, honey. I'm going to be watching that one. Or actually, it's a 1 o'clock game in the middle of the day, and one of the busiest Christmas shopping days of the year. So I don't get it, but they didn't ask me. So anyway, Jeff Birchfield, my friend, thank you. You always do a great job. Appreciate you coming over here during Christmas season. You have your shopping done?
No, but actually my brother and nephew and my mom and dad, I still need to buy for them, so I was going to do that this afternoon, actually. So,
there you go. Well, Merry Christmas to you and yours. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Tom.
Yeah, good man right there. Appreciate his friendship. He's awesome, and that would be our buddy. Again, Jeff Birchfield. Hello, Dina Taylor. Thank you, young lady, for being with us. We're live again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. 18 minutes left to go on the show. We'll take a look at the National Hockey League coming up next, also a little NBA. We'll also tell you more about Shock Linwood, the guy who says he's not going to play in the Cactus Bowl for Baylor. That is 3 now. I told you it's going to start, and it is. And we got Leonard Fournette. You've got Christian McCaffrey, and now Shock Linwood says he's not going to play for the Baylor Bears. And I, for one, again, totally do not agree with that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're live again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth on AM 790 WETB and also on Facebook at TomTaylorSports.com.
Wait, this is going on.
Good to see you, my friend. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas to you, too, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, sounds good. Hope it didn't throw you off too much on that Keith Jackson deal.
No, I liked it. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Hey, I was going to, my daughter, we got her a jacket. You remember the old movie, It's Madonna Desperately Seeking Susan?
Hi, Miss Dina Taylor. Hello, dear. How are you doing? We appreciate you very much. Let's see me run down here what I'm supposed to say. Where is it? Goodness gracious. Here we go. Talking points. Let's talk and tell you again to visit the new website at TomTaylorSports.com. Visit on the website. You can sign up for the email newsletter. Also, be sure to like and share us if you would, please. You can also click links to visit my Facebook page, to watch my live stream, as well as click links to visit YouTube and Twitter pages. So, appreciate you very much. And again, back with you in just a few minutes as we get ready to begin to wind this thing down as we are live here at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton, having a big time as always. Mr. Foy, is everything okay back on the home front? Wow. Okay. Well, all right. They don't need to requalify, so guess we won't worry about that one. So we'll just move on. Best I can tell you. We've got 16 minutes. How many breaks I have to do? We got any more breaks to take? One more. Okay. All right. Girls, you okay?
What?
You guys okay?
Yeah. I'm hungry.
30 seconds.
Let's do it to your sisters. Let's do it to your sisters. We'll do it slow. Soft.
You're being angels.
We're back again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton, having a big time over here, getting ready to wrap this thing up. About 15 minutes away, we'll turn things over again to Charles Stanley and let him teach and preach as only he can do in the airways of AM 790 WETB. The Boca Raton Bowl last night expected to be a shootout between Western Kentucky and Memphis, and it lived up to that billing for sure as the final score of 51-31, 82 points between the two. Again, Riley Ferguson, we talked about this young man who transferred from Tennessee. His grandfather, again, pastors a church at Gunnings Baptist up near Sullivan Central High School there in the Gunnings community. And so they had a big, big game last night, and he had a big game. I was going to try and find the numbers real quick here before we sign off. Also, Shamaria Bridges set a record in East Tennessee State's women. Again, win down at the Miami Holiday Tournament in Corals Gable, Florida in basketball. Lady Bucks at 7-7 as they beat Coffin State 70-58. And so they'll return to action, inside Brooks Gym after Christmas against Old Dominion. So that was a big win, obviously, for them. I was trying to get that number, again, for Riley Ferguson for the, where is it? I just read the thing here just a few minutes ago. But anyway, it was a big win for Riley Ferguson of Memphis, who transferred from Tennessee. Young man, again, from Matthews, North Carolina, who can play 6'5", and he can do it. And obviously set a school record with 32 touchdown passes for Riley Ferguson this year, the junior right-handed quarterback from Matthews, North Carolina. Also, a little closer to home, George Quarles, who coached Maryville to 11 state football championships since taking over the program, leaving Maryville to become an assistant coach at Furman, his alma mater. I find it odd that he would leave to go to be an assistant coach at Furman, but he is. Again, Quarles helped the Paladins win an FCS national championship as a standout wide receiver back in 1988. His departure from Maryville came one day after Furman introduced their new coach, Clay Hendricks, who roomed with Quarles for 2 years. When Hendricks was on staff at Furman, that explains it. There you go. Quarles posting a 250 win and only 16 loss record as coach of the Rebels, a mark that included 15 Blue Cross appearances and 16 consecutive region titles. So George Quarles leaving to go coach with his own roomie at Furman. Again, Clay Hendricks. So there's a big void there. One would wonder, and I have since I read this, one would wonder if they would come after Sean Whitten or Stacy Carter or even Graham Clark at Dobbins Minute, one of the three big very successful coaches here in our neck of the woods. Wonder if they'll be considered to be sought after with Stacy at Science Hill, Sean Whitten here in Elizabethton, or Graham at Dobbins Minute. I have to see, but again, the coaching carousel will begin now. Maybe the Alcoa coach could be one. I don't know. Gary Rankin, he may be a candidate, be a lot of candidates for the Maryville job since Quarles is stepping away and becoming an assistant coach at Furman, which, again, is kind of a shocker, I think, for a lot of folks. But, again, it makes sense after reading the story. His former roommates now is the new head football coach at Furman, and he called and said, "Hey, Roomie, why don't you come help me coach this football program, get it back where it once was." It's been on the skids for some time now, but back in the day when I was doing the Bucks on the radio for the Southern Conference, Furman was one of those dynamite teams that when you went down to Greenmore, they came to your place, you better strap it on because they could get after it. And so they're hoping to get back with that with the acquisition of and the naming of Hendricks as the head coach and George Quarles as the associate coach at Furman. Back to Riley Ferguson, 372 yards and 4 scores for Memphis last night. They lose in a bowl game for the second consecutive year. They finish at 8-5. Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky go to 11-3 and 598 yards for their interim head coach, Nick Holt, who was filling in after Coach Jeff Brome left this month to become coach at Purdue. Notre Dame offensive coordinator Mike Sanford, chosen over Holt as Brome's replacement next season, attended the game. See there again, Ben Foy, let's bring you in, my friend. There's another problem I got. When these coaches make these coaching changes, they just leave them high and dry. So here's a coach that left this month to become the coach of Purdue, which I get because he's got to go out there and get his staff rolling and up and running. But then you look at Lane Kiffin, who has made a commitment to say, whether you like the guy or not, he said, okay, I'm going to coach Alabama till we get through the national championship game. If we get that far, then I'll become the coach of Florida Atlantic. Other coaches just leave, right midstream and say, hey, an assistant coach or somebody else can coach the team, I'm out of here. And in some cases, the administration say, we don't want you to stick around. So it's not always the coach making the call, but what's your take on coaches leaving early? And, there again, in the middle of the bowl season, this coach leaves at Western Kentucky to go be the coach at Purdue. What's your take on those kind of deals?
Well, I don't approve of it at all. I mean, when you say that he would do
That's a very good point. Hit the bell. And so I understand them leaving to go because they're being tapped on the shoulder to go put together staff and all that. But there's got to be something to be said for the team you're leaving, not just to leave them high and dry and do it the right way. And again, whether you like Lane Kiffin or not, I can take him or leave him. I'm not a big fan either way of Lane Kiffin, but I do respect the man who says, okay, I'm going to fulfill my commitment as the offensive coordinator at the University of Alabama. Whether he was told to by Saban or not, he's doing it. And so, who was I talking to last week? I guess it was Angie. Said he coaches Alabama during the day and he's on the phone and doing whatever he needs to do for Florida Atlantic at night. But he is going to fulfill his commitment. So I appreciate a man who does that. And so, what do you like? What do you?
Can I say one color? Mine is like inch.
No. Well put, my friend. I agree with you 100%. We're talking to, again, our Ben Foy, producer, not the Ben Foy. Well, yeah, he is the Ben Foy, the producer extraordinaire of our show every day. Appreciate him very much. Couldn't do it without him. Sitting back and flipping the buttons and pushing the knobs. And he's going to take Monday off, and so am I. Tomorrow will be at Champion Chevrolet, the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. Then on Friday will be our final stop before Christmas, last-minute Christmas shopping for groceries at the new Food City in the North State of Franklin in North Johnson City. And we'll be there broadcasting live at Derek's store on Friday. NBA winners last night, the Kings, the Hornets, Toronto, the Cavaliers, an overtime win over Milwaukee. Boston, the Clippers, Golden State by 30 over the Utah Jazz, the best record in the NBA at 24-4. Orlando, a double overtime win last night over Miami. Also, you had wins by the Knicks, the Pelicans, my boys, the San Antonio Spurs. They're now 23-5. They won 5 in a row. They beat the Rockets last night, 102-100. Tonight in the NBA, Milwaukee at Cleveland, the battle of LeBron and the Cavaliers. Memphis will be in Detroit, Minnesota at Atlanta, Washington and Chicago to battle the Bulls, Oklahoma City at New Orleans, Sacramento at Utah, Dallas at Portland, and Houston will be in Phoenix to battle the Suns tonight in the NBA. In the National Hockey League, big win last night for the Predators. They continue to really be very impressive in their season so far. They're 15, 12, and 5. They started slow, but really coming on as of late. They beat New Jersey last night 5-1. James Neal 2 goals for the Predators. Other winners last night: the Islanders, Montreal, the Panthers, Columbus, the Penguins, Minnesota, the Blues, and overtime win over Dallas, Ottawa, Vancouver, and San Jose. The Sharks all get wins on the ice in the National Hockey League. The Predators tomorrow night have a beginning of a 3-game homestand. Tomorrow night you got the LA Kings coming to town. Next Tuesday, the Minnesota Wild will be at Bridgestone Arena. And then next Thursday night, the 29th, the Chicago Blackhawks roll into town. So they've got some big games coming up on the ice at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville for the Nashville Predators National Hockey League team. And so, again, big win last night for the Predators. Again, on the road against the against the New Jersey Devils last night in the National Hockey League action for the NHL. Tom Taylor Sports Show, got 6 minutes left to go in the show again on this Wednesday. We're live, as we said, at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. Lori, you got time? You got time? We got 3 minutes left. You want to come talk? You're making T-shirts for the girls. Okay. Well, that's awful sweet of her. So making T-shirts for the little ladies. So there you go. Oh me, oh my. Ben? Let's see here. What was I wanting to take? I was going to ask you about something here. Oh me, oh my. Oh, Nature's Way. Mike's Medicine Mart. Nature's Way, 20% off. I'm going to get to Ben here in just a second. Nature's Way, 20% off everything in the store. That's Nature's Way is 20% off. There's been a lot of folks going around and taking those little plastic baskets and making their own customized gift baskets for the folks, again, for Christmas. You can do that, and remember that everything Nature's Way is 20% off through the month of December at Mike's Medicine Mart. Again, make tracks to Mike's, you do in downtown Kingsport. Also, if you have someone on your shopping list that loves teas, they've got 140 feet of shelving full of teas. Republic of Tea, the Stash Tea line. They've got over 100 different flavors, including orange blossom, pumpkin spice, wild blueberry, Christmas candy cane, peppermint bark. Just the list goes on and on and on. They also have, again, Bates goat milk lotion, baby butter soap. They have Nature's Way, as we said, 20% off. They have all the Willow Tree Angels. They got all kinds of different Willow Tree Angels that have got for sale. They got Light Up Music Box over there for under $25. They've got the Amish Kitchen Food. They got the Troyer cheese brands. Again, all that available again at Mike's Medicine Mart on Center Street in Kingsport. Make tracks to Mike's, and you do on Center Street in downtown Kingsport. Ben, you've got some of the names who got qualified for the folks who will be giving away cash. You've been taking names all week so far. Throw out some of the names that are folks that are in the bucket to get qualified to win the free cold cash we'll give away on Friday. Who are some of the names in the bucket? Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate you very much. And so when you hear the touchstones tomorrow, will be a Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. Casey Marler's going to come by and be with us from WJHL. Can't wait. Get Marler in there and talk about his Chiefs and my Raiders. And, of course, his Chiefs swept my Raiders. I'll hear all about that tomorrow. That'll be good. We got Marler coming. Haley Dietrich's going to come by tomorrow, too. That's Andy's better half, talking about this great school she does for kids that have cancer. She has a suite that they've made out of let me step back and start over. They have a school made into a suite at Bristol Motor Speedway. They've taken a suite, converted it into a schoolhouse, and so for kids who have cancer and their immune systems are such they can't mingle and be in public school with other kids, and so Haley's going to stop by tomorrow and be with us. Also, some other guests lined up and ready to go as always. Carmichael's on vacation tomorrow, so we'll be at Champion Chevrolet tomorrow and at Food City in North State of Franklin in North Johnson City on Friday. And, of course, Monday, Ben and I are going to be taking taking Monday off. So to recharge batteries, brother. I'm telling you, it's fun. I wouldn't do anything else but this. I love doing this, but it's like anything else. You need to get away and take a day off, don't you? Yeah, and so you're going to Joel Kavanaugh's watching. Hello, Joel. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that very much. Again, tonight, if you don't have anything else to do, you want to check it out. Number 6, Kentucky, at number 11, Louisville tonight. It's going to be a dynamite ball game. Louisville, the best defense in America. And, of course, Kentucky, a wide-open run-and-gun offense led by the freshman Malik Monk. And, again, you look at the numbers. Rick Pitino, Kentucky leads the all-time series 32-15. They've won 4 in a row. Not only that, but Kentucky's won 8 of the past 9. Rick Pitino's 1-8 all-time against John Calipari head-to-head coaching. He is Rick Pitino as the coach of the Louisville Cardinals, 5-12 against Kentucky. His former boss, of course, he coached at Kentucky and had a lot of success there. So going to be a dandy tonight. Number 6, Kentucky at number 11, Louisville. In men's college basketball, and the records combined right now, Kentucky at 10-1, Louisville at 10-1, so combined 20-2 tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Should be a lot of fun, and looking forward to sitting down and enjoying an evening of watching some good hoops. Oh, boy, Kentucky, Louisville, can't wait. Hey, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Again, thanks to Lori. Lori's been too busy to be with us, and I totally get that. She's trying to cram everything in to get all the orders done for Christmas 2016. She will be open. Lori, will you be open Saturday?
No, we'll be closed Saturday.
Friday's your last day.
Friday's my last day.
And reopening Tuesday.
Yes.
Taking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off to recoup. There you go. And I get that. She's been flying around here, and I understand that. So, anyway, if you want to get some last-minute gift-giving ideas from Brumit Sports, you want to come over here today, tomorrow, and Friday, and that's it. And they're going to be closed Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and reopening on Tuesday. All right, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Ben Foy, can't thank you enough, my friend, for backing us up. You save my bacon every day, and I appreciate that. Could not do it without Ben Foy, and in fact, on Monday, he said, I'm going to take a day off, and I said, you know what? When you're off, I'm going to take a day off, because I have that much faith and confidence in this gentleman. He does a superb job. Let me say this. I don't know, he did tell me, who put together the Christmas music for the station? Mark Williams and yourself and whoever's involved in it. The Christmas music is dynamite on this station. I love it every morning and listen to it in the evenings when I get a chance. So Christmas music, it's Christian-based Christian music, for lack of a better term, and it is very, very good. We're out of time. Again, we sincerely thank you for yours. Coming up next, Charles Stanley at the top of the hour. For Ben Foy, also for Mike Wilson, the Elizabethton director. Also, of course, for Jeff Birchfield, the John City Press, and Lori Wilson from here at Brumit Sports. This is Tom Taylor telling you, as always, win or lose, be a good sport. We thank you for being with us, and Charles Stanley's coming up next here on WETB, AM 790, Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol. So long, everybody.
Okay, you take adult small. Okay, and you just want your initials monogrammed on the front and the navy blue. I think if that navy will show up good on that gray.
Where is it?
The gray is right here.
There's a whoa.
Well, it does. Yeah, see, this one's.
Did I do good or not?
So it shows that these are, the thing is, these are the skin ones, but.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
If it shows up.
I ran over the end of the show. What do you mean by that? Oh, so we're getting in late then, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I got to do better. That's I got to do better. It's just that simple. So, Brenda Jean says, "Hey Tom, miss being part of the show. I didn't know she knew how to get a hold of me." So anyway, the music. Tell me what I did wrong. What?
Last name was Taylor and her middle name is Julie.
See, I was talking to her about when it's closed, and I didn't turn the music on to hear that, so I didn't have it on my earbud, so I was not listening to the station. So, Bobby Moppin says, "You done good other than running over." Oh, man. So,
Oh, here, I'll show you.
okay. So,
I'll show
how many
you.
breaks do we need to take of the show? How many have I got that set up for?
Okay.
3 an hour. Okay.
Now, I'll have to bring them to you
All
next
right.
week. I won't have them just.
Tomorrow will be, yes, tomorrow, yes, we're going to be different. So, I can't, yeah. I'm trying to juggle these kids and trying to do a show, and it's a train wreck. So, So, okay, I'm going to jump off here. And so what I didn't do was I should have been listening to the station to hear the music. I was trying to get her to find out when we were closed. She's going to be closed, and didn't hear the music. And so we missed a break. So we're doing 3 breaks an hour. Okay, so we're going to start doing tomorrow. We're going to go 15, 30, and 45 or thereabouts every show. So we're going to be, yes. It's going to be in and around 15, in and around 30, in and around 45 every hour for a break. So, and then we're going to do weather like we've been doing, coming out of at the top of the show, cut back to you for weather. I think that's what we're going to do. So, and I do apologize. This is going to get fixed. So, it's my bad. So, anyway, we'll jump off here and box this thing up and move on to the next crap and stop. So. Yeah, well, it's okay. I can only do so much, do the best I can do. So, but I apologize for the show not being as sharp as it should. But it'll be tomorrow, I promise you, at Champion, and then Friday at Food City. So, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, because I got the phone going all the time. So. In fact, it's still going.